Greetings, everyone. Got a little weak today and gave in. Did something that I really swore to myself that I wasn't going to do. I thought it was very unlikely that I would buy the new Beatles box set that's just come out. Those are the mono recordings, the UK albums. They've been reissued on vinyl, and anybody who knows me and watches my videos has heard me say it many times. I'm not really a big fan of reissues, modern repressings. Even though they're beautiful to look at and they're pristine, I like to have the originals. But what had happened was, I was watching a video by Marv G, and he was showing some of the individual albums that he'd gotten. They looked really good. And I had told him only several hours ago, just this morning, in the comments section for his video, I said, you know, Marv, I think I'm going to buy some of the later albums, you know, the things you would want really in mono, especially like the White Album and Sgt. Pepper and maybe Magical Mystery Tour, but I didn't think I would go back and buy the whole thing. And then what happened was, here I am with a day off today from work, and in the middle of the day, among my chores and things I had to do, I decided to mosey on down to my record store, of course, and they had just gotten in a couple of the boxes and also individual albums, and that was the dilemma that I had, because the price tag that was on the box set, which also includes a real nice hardcover book of pictures and details of the mono releases and things. They had the box set, and then they had all the individual albums to buy separately, and I spent a good deal of time in there trying to decide which way I should go on this, because the price tag was steep for the box. Price tag is steep in some of the individual albums too. Some of them with double record sets, triple record set. Really didn't know what to do. So in the end, I pulled out the old piece of plastic and charged them. And here's the box set. You'll notice that I put box in quotes right in my headline here, and the reason I did that is because this is my box set. It doesn't look anything like the height and white mono box that everybody knows for this, right? This is the box that I got. Well, this box, quote unquote, is just a spare box that my record store owner had laying around. I decided to buy the albums all individually, and he gave me a box to put them in to take them home. Yeah, I decided that I'd save some money. I really tried to rationalize to myself that I didn't need the big book. Now, I don't know at this point, somebody tell me if I'm right about this or not. I was figuring that the new book that's in this is nothing more really than the same old booklet that was in the small CD version of the mono set. And I have a feeling I'm wrong about that. I saw one review with a guy from the fan club who said that there's pictures in this book he's never seen before in his life. Anyway, let me know about that, folks, if I missed a good book. Now, I know I'm padding this out a little bit, and you know, you can always forward to the records if you want. But just to tell you what my thinking was in this, I just figured I would save the money. It's actually cheaper to buy the records individually than it is to buy the box. And frankly, the box, again, this is just me trying to rationalize it. The box is no great shakes. I have the CD box. It's just the white box that says the Beatles in mono. No great photographs or anything like that. And I figured I could do without the book. I mainly wanted the records. So I decided to go a little cheaper by just buying the individual discs. Now, glasses time. Here's the thing. Getting this box with the records and putting the records in it, I was going to pass them up, you know. When I started actually looking at them, and I still have the price tags on. I forgot to take them off. They didn't have Please Please Me. That's the first thing I should mention. For some reason, my store didn't get Please Please Me. They forgot to order it or something. And what really shocked me was, I said to the guy in the store, I said, you don't have the Please Please Me album here. He says, I don't think that one was with the set. I don't think they put that out. And I said, of course they did. That's their first album. And in mono, sure. It's got to be there. And he said, I don't know. I don't think. And I showed him the, off the shelf, I picked out the CD mono box, and I pulled the Please Please Me out, and I said, here, right here. the Please Please Me here. See, it's in here. He said, well, that was the CD box. I don't think they duplicated it in the records. Well, he looked online and said, yeah, it was wrong. They did do it. He did, whatever reason, he didn't order it or they didn't send him the Please Please Me album. So, again, making this a long story where it's not necessary really, I decided that I would just buy the rest of the albums, and I'm going to have to go back and pick up Please Please Me later. When I looked at these albums, they just looked so incredible to me that I just had to have them. Now, as I say, I'm not a big fan of reissues. You know, I'd rather have the original artifact. I have an original mono copy of the 1963 with the Beatles, my favorite UK Beatle album, or one of the top favorites for me, the early ones. Beatles at their hungry heyday and peak. And I just decided that it looks so great. I mean, you know, they even did the back here where they actually put the fold backs here, flip backs, whatever you want to call it. And I realize what a lot of people say. You're probably never going to get the opportunity to get these albums looking like this again. Yeah, they're reissues. Yeah, they're not really the originals that came out in the 60s. And that really puts me off. But you know what? I'm sold. Because I also heard that these albums are not, thankfully, not going to be digital. Like the last ones were taken off digital sources. These are supposedly from the original analog tapes. As we look at Hard Day's Night, you know, to see the original packaging like this, looking pristine in the shrink wrap like this, I didn't see how the hell I was going to pass these up. You know, it has the sticker here that tells you on all of these that the mastering team used a completely analog signal path and were guided by the notes made by the cutting engineer for the first pressing of the album. So I figured this is going to be better. By the way, I should interject here that I passed up the last vinyl set of stereo masters. I decided I didn't need them, and I don't regret it. Because a lot of people have told me, and apologies to anybody out there that has them and loves them, that they weren't really well pressed, and they did use digital sources. I know I bought one of them. I bought the Past Masters, the black cover in stereo. And I played it. It sounded horrible. It sounded just horrible. And I did not regret passing by the stereo versions. But the mono versions, gotta do it. Here's Beatles for Sale. And I know a lot of reasons why I don't like talking about these albums and showing them very often in my videos is because we've all seen these covers a million times, but how often do you get to see these so nice looking, you know, with the shrink wrap on the original UK albums. None of these are open yet, and I'll tell you, it was really tempting. Really thought that maybe I wouldn't open these, but I'm probably going to open them and play them. Here's the Help album, and again, pristine, you know, really nice. Nothing really different I could say here, but when I hold up the next one, I'll talk a little more. Here's the UK Rubber Soul. I figured, you know, although it was very easy for me to pass on all these, I was going to pass on all these albums. Like I said earlier, the earlier albums. I might have started with Revolver and gone up. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you're a collector like me and you're a real Beatles fanatic, you want to have really nice sounding, which supposedly a few people have already said these do sound nice. Nice sounding albums, the original UK albums, then you got to have them like this. You know, if a person like me doesn't go out and buy these and have this, you know, what albums would I have? I mean, it all starts here if you're a Beatles fan. The original UK, right, mono albums, and the best sound quality you can get, and of which I hear these are. Some people have said these sound better than the original 60s pressings. Paul's bass is higher in some of them even. Here's the Revolver. You know, it's got that flip back water on it. But I tell you, just looking at these, as I said, you really feel like you don't want to open them, you know. It's easy to say, well, leave these sealed and pristine. After all, I got plenty of other versions of these songs, God knows, on vinyl to play. Here's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Shiny Shrink. And, when I do open these, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little knife and slice them open. I'll leave them in their shrink. This is one that I really was going to get one way or the other. I don't know. I just wanted to have Magical Mystery Tour. This is it's a facsimile of the American version. And I really wanted to have this one. So I was going to buy Pepper and Mystery Tour and the White Album and probably the Past Masters that I'm going to show at the end. Here's the White Album. My number is very high. It's a very high number, if you can see it there. It's 9090, etc. Every copy I've seen online, has numbers like that, 9 something. By the way, as you can see, I'm not opening any of these up for the video. There's plenty of videos on YouTube with people showing their collection and opening them up and showing you what's inside them, the labels and whatever goodies might be in there, if you're so inclined and you want to see them. Alright, the last one I have here is a big whopper of an album. This one is very interesting. This is the Beatles Mono Masters. It's a 3-record set, and this has all the 45s, really, the singles, the B-sides, and things like that. You really, just to throw this in, a little criticism. I don't know why. People who make bootleggers are always able to come up with imaginative ideas for really nice picture covers and shots you've never seen before of the artist and really make them exciting. They just put a plain, boring Beatles Mono Masters in white, nothing special there, right? But I know this is a trifold album. This opens up 3 ways and has an album left, right, and center. So anyway, I did decide to pick them up. I said earlier that after a while, it's just a question of how many times you can have the same albums. Now, back in, I think it was 1982, I purchased a UK import, the blue box set of vinyl albums. I remember real quickly, I was 20 years old or so then. I had been unemployed at that time, and I remember my mom found out that I bought this box back then, without a job, and using some of my unemployment insurance money for it, and she was flipping out. Now, the thing's worth like $1,000 or something like that. I don't have it anymore, by the way. I sold that along with my original Beatles collection. It's gone. Don't remember what I got for it. But I think back then, those UK albums in the blue box with the gold signatures on it, I think it cost around $150, which in 1982 was a lot of money. Still not a lot of money, but it was really a lot then. And it was crazy, under the situation I was in then, to actually buy that. But hey, if I would have had it today, it'd be worth $1,000, right? Anybody who has one, mine was in mint condition. I never played the albums, right? Anyway, so I wanted to throw that in. Now, also, I'm going to show you some albums and albums. Yes, one album. What else did I get here? And some new vinyl finds, things I've had recently. I'm finding out that as I've gotten more and more Beatles stuff, I haven't really been able to amass a lot of stuff to show, because after a while you have everything and all you're doing is upgrading certain things. So my new vinyl finds for the Beatles have been really dwindling down a lot. But recently I got this, which I was very happy to have. This is Ringo's Sentimental Journey album, his debut solo album, and the reason I got this is because it's in the shrink. I don't know how well that shows up here, but I am always on a quest. My ultimate goal is to get all the albums, group and solo, as close to in the shrink as I possibly can. And anytime I see one, I upgrade it. So this was an upgrade of the Sentimental Journey album of Ringo, 1970. And, one less that I got up. I'm still looking for A Good Night Vienna and some other ones with shrink wrap on it. Unfortunately, I have something here. I'm going to have to grab a camera range for a second. This is something that I showed on another video recently, Beatles related. I like to make it official, have it here on a Beatles Find video. I was at my flea market. This was $5. It was a Caveman movie ad, a little newspaper that went with the movie from 1981 with Ringo Starr in it. Caveman, the Daily Caveman News. A little promotional item dealing with the movie. And I can't resist another chance at showing Barbara Bach. So there she is as Lana, a cave woman that Ringo lusts for. And Ringo ultimately married her. They have had a successful marriage. They got married in 1981 and they're still married happily. Good for them. Okay, now here's something while I was in a store recently that I found. And I had never known about this. I mean, I'm trying to get like so many books now. This is a little dirty. It needs to be cleaned. It's a day in the life of the Beatles. But I thought that would mean that it would be some kind of a, like a day-by-day calendar or something like that. And what it actually is one day of photos. Some of you may know this. Some of you may already have this. I'm going to take it out of the jacket, and when you take it out of the jacket, look how cool that is inside there. It's this. We've all seen pictures from this photo session from 1968, but this book apparently, and there's no way I can get all of them. They have pictures in there. Look at the John playing dead, huh? From this photo session. And the whole book is just a lot of rare pictures. I mean, some of these we've seen, like they're common. I'm going to flip through them quickly. You've seen a lot of these before, but please don't sit on the grass, and they sit on the grass. I always do that too. Anytime I see please don't do this or that, I have somebody grab a camera and take a picture of me violating the sign just for a laugh. So a lot of these pictures have turned up and you've seen them, but there are a lot of them that I haven't seen. Some of them make it. It's the photo session for this one day. Is this what they call the Mad Day Out photo session? They call it a Mad Day Out, 1968. I'm hoping some of these are coming through pretty well here. I mean, this is really, I'm not one of those people who use the word awesome very often. Today, awesome has replaced every known adjective. It's the all-purpose adjective to describe anything and everything. And this is an awesome book. I mean, it is really amazing. Just everything that went on that day, all the photos for this. Okay, the last item I'm going to show for this, and as you see, it's getting harder and harder to come by, as I said, stuff to show for Beatles updates. This is, I'm pretty sure it's a UK. I haven't looked close enough. It's a, I'm going to just double check again, so. Why do they make it so blurry, some of the writing on here? Anyway, it's Off the Ground, from the album Off the Ground. It's the single for Come On People, and the B-side was a non-album track called I Can't Imagine. And what I like about this is I always like the back cover of this. It's Paul McCartney, if I didn't mention that. I like the picture here of Paul kind of walking down the street, and it's a homeless person hanging out there. I have a CD of this, and the CD, of course, is a much smaller photo. And I always liked this one. I thought it was so weird, Paul just walking amongst the common folk. And I thought it was cool to have it a little bigger here on a 45 sleeve. So here's the record, a Parlophone. Come On People. And I Can't Imagine. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I didn't offer anything really special about these record albums. I just wanted to show you for posterity on my channel that I caved in and picked them up, even though I didn't go for the box itself. What do you think? Was I wrong for doing that? I don't know how much I saved. I didn't really figure it out yet. I still got to get Please Please Me, because Please Please Me wasn't at the store individually. But I think I've saved maybe 40, 50 bucks with the, before the tax. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for watching.